Welcome to the We Are Not Born Failures podcast. I'm your host, Moises Linares. I noticed that normally I don't introduce myself. Therefore, I decided that on this occasion I would introduce myself properly. Así que muchas gracias por su sintonía, gracias por siempre estar pendientes. Aquí tratamos de hablar inglés y español, aunque últimamente hemos tratado de hablar un poco más de inglés porque reconocemos que la gente que ve este podcast en su mayoría es gente bilingüe que consume, bueno, habla español, pero consume en inglés. Therefore, I try to speak in both languages, English and Spanish. But what happens is that if I speak in both languages, then usually I consume twice as much time. But today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, be relentless in pursuing your goals. Be relentless. I feel that that's a word that I fallen in love with throughout my process. En español, relentless would be implacable. I don't like it as much in Spanish as I do in English. I'm not sure why. Implacable, relentless. I love the word relentless. To be relentless is not to take no for an answer. It's your quest for greatness in the pursuit of making your dreams a reality. Now, that's one of the quotes I found when it comes to being relentless. El simple hecho de que no aceptas la respuesta no como respuesta. You're willing to do whatever it takes to get to your goals and dreams, to achieve that milestone, to get to that next level. Some of us say we're relentless. It's something that I hear often. I'm relentless in my goals. I'm relentless in my dream. You say it, but you're not relentless. I'm working relentlessly. No, you're not. No, you're not. Trust me. When you are relentless, you just keep working. You keep doing your thing. You're demanding more of yourself each and every time. It's never enough. You're always looking for ways to improve, even when you've done good. Esa es la diferencia de ser y no ser. Implacable. El que siempre está buscando la manera de mejorar, de crecer, de seguir tratando de evolucionar, de dar ese próximo paso. Muchos dicen que lo son, pero no lo son. Y uno ve. Because when you see people who are relentless in what they do in life, if we're going to talk about sports, because that's what I do, then I'll mention people like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. You have Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Michael Phelps, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, always demanding more and more and more. But it's unfair to compare ourselves to people who have been to the top of their mountain, and we're talking about the Mount Everest of sports. It's difficult when we want to compare ourselves to individuals like that. But we have relentless people that have achieved a lot in our neighborhoods. We know them. Those individuals that perhaps were not destined to be great, that normally you say, and I'm sure you know a few of these individuals, that person was not supposed to make it, and they made it. How did you make it? How did you do it? What's your secret? I would like to consider myself a person who belongs to that group. Although, if I'm honest with you, I feel like I'm still learning to be relentless. I'm still trying to figure it out. But in a way, yes, I would say I'm relentless. Getting to where I'm at now. It took some form of relentlessness, grit, determination to make it to this point in my career, I would say. Because normally the answer was no. Looking for an opportunity, no. Looking for a job, no. Looking for a chance, no. Everybody, no. But even after so many no's, the idea was still there. The goal was still very clear. I am going to will myself to that next step, to that next level, one way or another. Being relentless also means you don't have a deadline. There's no actual date to complete the task. You get up every single day with the mindset that you're doing it to get to that point, and eventually something's gonna give. Es la diferencia de ser implacable. No hay una fecha de expiración, no hay una fecha límite. Uno sigue luchando día tras día tras día, sabiendo que si no me doy por vencido, si sigo peleando por mis sueños y mis metas, eventualmente una puerta se va a abrir. Now you need some type of discipline. And that's something that sometimes we forget. It's not just going to happen because you get up every single day and you're like, well, you know what? Today is going to be the day. Today, somebody's going to open that door for me. No. You need a plan, you need discipline. And usually, those are the individuals that we know or we see that get up every single day and they have a plan and they know they have to dedicate X amount of hours each day to making their dream come true. You can have the best ideas. You can have the best dream. You could be the most talented person in the room. But we all know this. When you play sports, you hear the following often. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. And most of the time, we know a lot of talented people that don't like to work. They depend on their natural given abilities and they feel that that's just enough. And sometimes it is enough to carry you from point A to point B. But to get to the top of your mountain, whatever that mountain might be, you need to be relentless because you will fall. You will get knocked out. You will be stopped. You will face a lot of obstacles and challenges. And you need to have that mentality of like, I'm going to keep going no matter what. I will not give up. You have a purpose. And that's what it comes down to when we talk about being relentless. Now, I would also say that in my personal experience, I've learned that there's a difference between being good and being great. A lot of people are good at what they do. They are. I know a lot of people who are professionals, who do great work, who I admire, and they're good. But the people who are great, those are the relentless individuals. The people who are great, yeah, there's a difference, and you can see it right off the bat. The difference between the two is the attention to detail. When you see somebody working and you see how they work, you start noticing small things that make all the difference. You start realizing that to be great, you look and pay attention to the very small things you do every day. For you, might be getting up early. The difference between getting up at 6 and getting up at 7. The difference between writing that extra journal entry, that article, doing your research. In my case, now that I'm a full-time play-by-play announcer for Apple TV, I'll tell you one of my biggest secrets, and perhaps other people do it as well. I'm not sure. Everybody has their own method of working. But for me, it's looking over my games, going over my tape, listening to myself every single game. Last season, Major League Soccer season 2023, I watched, I'm not lying to you. I think I watched every single game I called, with the exception of 2, maybe 3 games that for some reason I just couldn't watch because I guess we get to the point where I also have the NFL season and perhaps the schedule just gets too tight and busy that I can watch every single game. But I would say 37 out of 40 games is not bad, right? And I'm listening to myself. I'm writing down notes. I'm looking at my mistakes. What did I say wrong? How was this transition? Did I stumble on a word? And it happens. It happens. I would be lying to you if I said I was perfect and everything's great. No. It's the details. And people ask me and tell me, well, you did great. That was a great job. I love the goal call. And I say, thank you. Because one of the things we also have to do is pat yourself on the back. Good job. When people give you good feedback, take it. Great. But it's not enough. I want more. I'm not content. I'm not going to be content until I reach a level of greatness. And sometimes That, ladies and gentlemen, is a lifelong pursuit. And I'll say it in Spanish. La diferencia entre ser grande y ser bueno está en los detalles. Es ahí donde tú encuentras a las personas que han llegado hasta arriba, a la cima de su montaña, y los que se quedan a medio camino. Son los detalles pequeños en las cosas que hacemos, en la manera que trabajamos. Yo, por ejemplo, lo comentaba, es que yo me enfoco mucho en los detalles. Yo tengo que escuchar la mayoría de mis partidos que relato para la MLS o el fútbol americano. Estoy viendo dónde fallé, dónde cometí un error, dónde tal vez no pronuncié algo de la manera correcta. Entonces voy tomando notas para no cometer el mismo error en las próximas semanas. Y eso ha sido la diferencia entre ser bueno y seguir creciendo, porque no me voy a poner en una categoría donde voy a decir que yo estoy entre los mejores. No. Mi mentalidad siempre es seguir trabajando. That's the way that I think, at least. And that's my biggest advice to anybody. You got to keep working. You put your head down, you keep working. That's been me for the past 15 years. I just keep working. I keep going. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I could say, you know what? I left it all on the table. I gave my best effort. I did the best job possible, but I put in the work. And that's what matters the most. Did you put in the work? When people ask you, did you do your homework? Yes. You don't just show up to the final exam without studying unless you're a genius. And there's a few and a very, very small number of individuals that can do that, right? People who can just show up and they'll knock it out of the park. I don't know many of those. But for me, it's all about the hard work. I need to work my ass off. I need to make sure that I'm prepared. My preparation for a game starts several days in advance. I'm looking at the lineups. I'm looking at who they play last. I'm watching the last game the last team played. Maybe I didn't call that game. For example, this week I have 2 games. I have to watch 2 games. My game, and I have to watch the opposing team. I have to see how they played. So when I'm calling their game, I know what I'm talking about. I'm familiar with the players. And it's all part of that relentlessness of being great, that pursuit to get to that next level, to climb my mountain, to get to the top, not satisfied with being stuck in the middle. And a lot of us, we settled. We settle with being okay, with being just, you know what, it's enough. We're going to get by, and that's fine. That is fine. If you are content with the fact that you've reached a certain level, and that's enough for you, then great. For some people, that works. For me, it doesn't. For other individuals, maybe for you, it doesn't work. Maybe you're just like me, and you want more. This applies to anything in life. It's not just for a career like mine. It could be your job. You're a lawyer. I don't know. You're an attorney. You want to be a partner. You want to own your own law firm. You want to be a doctor. You want to be, I don't know, a government official. You want to be a senator, a mayor, just to throw a few examples out. You have to put in the work unless you're okay with staying at a certain level. I've never been that person. And I always look for ways of improving. Never satisfied. I've learned to pat myself on the back, like I said earlier. Buen trabajo. Hicimos un gran trabajo. Sigue adelante. Te felicito. Me talking to me. Because at the end of the day, when you're seeing this, what is this? It's me. It's Moises talking to Moises. This is a conversation that normally happens inside of my head. I talk to myself all the time. These conversations happen all the time. And normally I take these conversations and I share them with friends, really close friends. I share them with my siblings, brothers and sisters, when I have an opportunity to talk to them, to try to inspire them, to try to share my knowledge and share what I've learned. I share these thoughts. And now you guys are a part of my thoughts and the way that Moises thinks. And what makes me the happiest, we've been doing this for over a month now. What makes me the happiest is the fact that a lot of you have reached out to me, DM, sent me a message saying, look, good topics. I love the conversation. I love that topic. These are things we're not talking about. These are topics that other podcasters are not bringing to the table. And there's a lot of great podcasters out there that are doing great work. So I salute you guys. Keep doing amazing work. but there is space for everybody, and I feel that perhaps this is my field, this is my niche, this is where I can get better, and something that I haven't done. I could easily talk about sports, and that's what a lot of people in my field do. Let's talk about sports. Let's talk about what Messi did. Is Messi better than Cristiano? Is Cristiano better than Messi? But I think, okay, if that's already being done, what can I contribute to the world that's different? How can I influence my community? Vuelvo y lo repito. Inicialmente, la idea era que esto fuera para la comunidad salvadoreña nacida en Estados Unidos o los estadounidenses de ascendencia salvadoreña. That was the main idea, the main goal at the beginning. But I've always said ideas evolve, and other people are reaching out. And now it's Central Americans, and now it's Mexicans. Now it's Latinos. And I want to keep growing this. We'll see how far it can go. But the idea is to share those thoughts because I know that more than one individual can relate. Being relentless. Sometimes we have to call people out. If you're truly relentless, you have to put in the work. You have to be disciplined. You have to know and understand that this is not a 6-month plan, a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan. This might be 10 years. This might be 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it took me 12 years. 12 years to become a play-by-play announcer, a full-time play-by-play announcer. I started earlier, but I was juggling different jobs. But to become just a play-by-play announcer, it took 12 years. At one point, I thought, should I keep going? Does it matter? I tried, it didn't happen. All of these negative thoughts that usually cross your mind. And somebody said, put your head down, keep working, focus on you. Which brings me to my next point. When you are relentless, you want to make sure that you are worried just about you. Don't worry about the person next to you, to your right, the person to your left, your cousin who's doing great, your friend who got promoted. That will drive you crazy. Trust me. I have very successful friends who I am very happy for. They're climbing their own mountain. And we have good friendships, good relationships. But I've learned that I have to focus on me. You have to focus on you. If you've ever seen a horse race, right? You've noticed one thing. If you haven't paid attention, why do horses wear blinders before the race or when they're racing, right? You see them like this. If you're watching the YouTube, if not, you're going to have to Google it, right? Why do horses wear blinders during the race, right? Because they're focused only on their race. They're not focused on the horse to their left, the horse to the right. The only thing that matters is their own race. They're focused on what's ahead of them, not what's behind, not what to the left, not what's to the right. And some of us are too concerned about what everybody else is doing. If you want to be relentless, if you truly consider yourself relentless, you can't follow the rest of the crowd. That means you can't follow the other 97%. If you're trying to be part of that 3% of individuals, then you have to be different. Those are not lies. Those are facts. Be like a horse, like a racing horse, right? Not like a normal ranch horse, but be like a racing horse. Focus on your own race. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. And I'm speaking out of experience because it's something that I used to do all the time. I kid you not. I was the person sometimes looking at other individuals saying, well, why did that person get promoted? Or why did that person get that opportunity? Why haven't I had a chance to truly ascend, keep climbing this mountain? It wasn't the time. I wasn't ready. Now I know that. Now I've learned that the hard way. But the biggest lesson I've taken is the fact that I have to worry about me, worry about the fact that I am running my own race, that if I am truly relentless, I have to be disciplined. I have to do things different. I don't have, and I won't follow the crowd. If somebody else is doing something else because it's trending, it doesn't mean I have to do it. And some of us are quick, really quick and fast to jump on trends, to follow the crowd. But we want to be relentless. And be relentless is not obtained that way. That's the reality. You have to run your own race. You have to do your own thing. You have to understand that at the end of the day, no expiration date. It's a lifelong journey. And when you get to a certain finish line, the next race starts. And then the next race starts, right? The races just keep renewing. There's always a new race to run. Or if you want to keep the parable about climbing mountains, then like the great Joe Ellis, coach of the U.S. women's national team, once said, you climb a mountain, which is not easy to do. You get to the top of the mountain, you soak it in, you take a look at the great view, and you realize, wow, this is beautiful. But eventually, you have to come back down and climb a new mountain. And that's the way that it goes. A lot of us, we think that it's easy, that we can just talk. But your work does the talking for you. It's in your work when you can truly see who is and who isn't. Like I told a buddy of mine whose podcast I was a guest in not so long ago, and he's doing great things. And I said, look, at the beginning when I saw you working, I had my questions. I never said anything. But what I saw was the body of work. What I saw was the fact that you were putting that work every week, making sure that your work spoke for you. Not just your comments, not just the pictures, not just social media, because in social media, we can all pretend to be great. In social media, all of us could be the most successful individuals we know. We can be the happiest individuals we know. But that's not reality. The reality is the body of work. What do I see? What can you show me when you talk about being relentless and achieving things? The stuff you do on an everyday basis is going to really represent who you are. Al final del día, cada uno está corriendo su propia carrera. Cada uno tiene que ser como un caballo de carrera, ¿verdad? Y si uno ve una carrera de caballo, usualmente tienen los blinders. Y ahorita se me escapó la palabra en español para blinders, ¿verdad? Pero son los protectores que le ponen a los caballos para que cuando comience la carrera el caballo solamente se enfoque en lo que está enfrente de él. No se preocupa del caballo que tiene a la izquierda, no se preocupa del caballo que tiene a la derecha. Simplemente corre su carrera preocupado en el paso que sigue, ¿verdad? El próximo, un paso a la vez, a toda velocidad, tratando de llegar a la meta final. Pero en muchas ocasiones estamos preocupados de lo que otra gente está haciendo. ¿Por qué esta persona sí? ¿Por qué a mí no? ¿Por qué yo tengo esto y por qué esta persona tiene lo otro? For a second, I thought I wasn't recording. I was gonna... Remember I told you guys, this is what happens when you are doing everything by yourself. I thought I wasn't recording, but I am recording, so I'm not crazy. I just had to say it in Spanish so the people who follow me, who only speak Spanish, understand. Porque sé que hay muchas personas que se están uniendo al podcast, se están siguiendo el podcast y a veces no es tan fácil hablar inglés y español porque el tiempo o lo que es cada capítulo del podcast se duplica y no queremos que ustedes estén, bueno, aquí una hora esperando, escuchando lo mismo en dos idiomas. Pero es el simple hecho. Y lo que quería compartir con ustedes el día de hoy. Implacable es la palabra. Relentless. Es una palabra fuerte, muy fuerte, que personas que han tenido que remar contra la corriente conocen muy bien. Las personas que comienzan los negocios, a las que les dicen no lo vas a lograr, no lo vas a hacer, y que siguen, y que siguen, y que siguen. Esa es una persona que en inglés consideramos como una persona que tiene, bueno, esos atributos de ser una persona relentless. Yeah, more than 25 minutes. And this is just getting better. I think I could keep going, but I've been consistent in just the time that I've been using when recording these podcasts. I think that between 27 and 30 minutes That's a good time. And I am very thankful for you guys. The fact that you guys are reaching out, sharing the videos, sharing, DMing me, sending it to other people. That's awesome. I am very grateful. Thank you for also bringing up topics you would like to talk about. I think that first generations, second generation Salvadoran Americans, Central American Americans, I'm including the Guatemalans, the Hondurans, the Mexicans, Costa Ricans, the Colombians, the Peruvians, that are Bolivians that are joining this podcast, that are writing and reaching out. It truly means a lot because I think that it empowers me to share some of my wisdom. It's not just my experiences. I don't want you guys to feel that this is just about my experiences. What I'm trying to do is simply use my experiences, what I've written in the book, We Are Not Born Failures, and the wisdom that I've obtained from my mother, from my grandmother, from people along the way, and share it with you guys because I feel that a lot of you can relate. A lot of you go through this process, right? You guys have the same challenges like I do. And I think it's something we have to talk about. To be relentless, to get to that goal, to keep climbing that mountain, you have to be disciplined. I'm going to repeat it again. Be disciplined, be organized, be methodical, right? And we could expand on the topic of being relentless because I was looking and I was researching the topic and I ran across this article that said being relentless but not being ruthless or reckless. And we can go in a whole different direction when we talk about those three things because sometimes people who are relentless are also ruthless and reckless, but that's not what we want to be. Keep being relentless. Keep being great. Thank you for supporting this podcast. We Are Not Born Failures. Woo! Another episode in the books. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, please, please leave a message. Share it. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys next time. Muy buenas noches. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the week.